the Conquering Mount Scrapmore with Brenda. I'm Brenda, and we're here today with another traditional block that I just love to play with. This one is called Country Farm. But before we get into the sewing, and it's just simple triangles and squares, I want to do a shout out. Shealynn at A Quilting Tale, and her YouTube channel is going to be in the show notes below, is just lovely. She's having a lot of fun over at her channel, and you know the drill. If you go over there, you'll check her out, and you like what you see, tell her Brenda from Conquering Mount Scrapmore sent you over there, and subscribe to her channel as well. The other thing you're going to find in the show notes is our Zoom sew dates from now until hopefully the end of the year, but we haven't really sat down to decide where and when they are, but there's the next few months are there. And what else you're going to find, and those sew dates are a lot of fun, but they're on Zoom, and it's a great way to meet people from all over. It's just wonderful. And the other thing you're going to find is our Facebook group, and our Facebook group is growing rapidly. We're having so much fun with fabric swaps and community chats and sharing all sorts of fun things and sharing pictures. It's just lovely to be part of that warm and welcoming group. Now, I also am continuing to do free speaking engagements to quilt guilds. I'm having so much fun with that. I have a PowerPoint presentation. I don't have a trunk show, so I will only do them over Zoom with my PowerPoint presentation. I have lots of pictures, so it's been lots of fun with those speaking engagements that I've done, and I get to show off all sorts of little scrappy quilts, and sometimes the guilds even let me stay for show and tell. So it's lots of fun that way. Now, share, like, and subscribe. Make a comment on this video. Those comments help, the comments and the thumbs up help drive our analytics, and we're more widely shared throughout the YouTube. So you're really helping us out when you comment and do a thumbs up. Okay, come on, let's get into this fun sewing. Okay, we're at the sewing machine, and I got my 301A back from the spa. It's all happy now, and yes, it just needed more grease. So here's the layout of the block that we're doing called Country Farm, and it's, you know, it's kind of deceiving. There's lots of little pieces and bits, but you know, we all have these triangles kicking around, and it's like about time we started using them up. So the first thing we're going to do is the hardest part first. We're going to do the little bits first. And all I'm going to do is I'm just going to sew them together and to make a bigger triangle, right? Now, and they're kind of like mirrored pairs because you don't want the greens touching, but you know, like I say, I cleaned the color up on this a bit because I just thought, you know, because you can make this as scrappy as you want. And I thought, oh, wouldn't that be fun to do this, you know? But so anyways, you sew mirrored pairs of these. And that's the big thing on this. Okay, now I've got a leader ender project here. And it's all 4 patches. So they're pretty big 4 patches. So hopefully it won't be too distracting to you. I'm just moving this stuff along a bit. Just I ended up with a whole bunch of squares donated to me, so I decided, okay, I'm going to make a quilt with 4 patches and just move it out as a charity quilt. And there's going to be lots of variety in this quilt because, yeah, there was a lot of patches. Okay, so now we're just going to open these back up and we're going to lay them back out, and they have to be laid out kind of in the right spot. And you want press to the dark. So that goes there because those two don't match. And oops. And that goes here. There we go. I got this fabric in Kingman. From Connie's Quilter's Hideaway. I just cannot believe how cute it is. It is the cutest fabric I've ever seen. And you want to lay these out too because you don't want them to touch, like the green is not here, right? You know, we want to make sure that the color is not there. So it's a color and a white, a color and a white. So there we are. So now let's get the next hard bit, which is the 4 patch itself. So, oops. I'm going to do this first and then this. Oops. There, line them up and sew them down. This is a good way to use up your 2.5-inch squares as well. I have given you the cutting instructions for all of this on the traditional method because I had that for scraps. So I figured, okay, we're going to give you, I thought these scraps worked well together, and I thought, okay, we'll just give it to you all in the traditional method because I don't really have the 4 at a time or 8 at a time. The blues here for this, I had bigger pieces, so I was able to give you those. And yeah. Yeah, there we go. Now we'll just finish that 4 patch off just like that, and we're pressing to the dark there. So you just turn it around just like that. You can press open any of the blocks and patterns that I show you here. If you are one that presses open, by all means press open. You know, there's a lot of people that say they have to press open because that's just the way it is for them. And it's like, that's okay. That's okay. If you have to press open, you press open. If that puts you in your happy spot, that's all that matters. Right? So that is a good thing. There we go. And we'll just run another one through. Yeah, I don't work often with 3-inch blocks, but I had so many of them. I think I've got enough to make a fairly decent size crib quilt, or hopefully a twin quilt if I put borders on and stuff like that. Now, what I'm going to do here is I am going to twist that seam open. But like I say, if you're pressing open, you don't have to worry about that, because all the seams now will spin this way. And now I just put this back. Okay, so now the next hard bit is going to be these blocks, right? These little quarter square triangles. So what we're going to do is we're going to do this. Just line them all up and get them sewn. And this. There we go. And give it a spin. And you go this. Oops. And you go this. It goes like this. Oops. Come on. Come on. Come on. I always tell people when you're sewing these, especially when they're like this and you haven't done the quick method for the quarter square triangles, be careful because they're on a bias. They are a bias. And I know people, oh, well, biases aren't that bad. Yeah, well, they're not. They're not hard to do. You just don't, you can't stretch and pull and drag on them, right? That's all. And the way I've cut these too, there is no bias on the outside edge. When you are done, there's no bias. So that's always a good thing. Okay, and you give it another spin. And there, now. Okay. And line everything up, make sure it's all there. Yes, it is. This baby, this is my 301 ever so quietly. It needed grease packing because it had dried out down here during the pandemic when we weren't here. So it just sews so silently now. It just sounds like a brand new machine. Okay, so now we're going to again press to the dark, and here we're going to say the blue is the dark. Right, so we get this. So now, line it up. Now, if you had to do any trimming to make sure this ended up being a 4.5-inch skirt, I'm just going to clip this so I can really see what I'm doing, get in there and see what I'm doing, and get a good nest. Yes, I do. You need to square these up once they're finished. You're gonna need to square them up, right? So now this one goes. All right. Okay, there we go. There. And oops, there we go. There's one. Like, and if you press them all the same way, these are very, very cute. Okay. And line it up, line up your center, and then your point, the point you're putting under. Now, some people say they have a hard time with triangles. And you know what's going to help with triangles? Practice. The more triangles you sew, the better you get at them. And I mean, it's like anything, you know. There. These are perfect for little bits and scraps, little bits and bobs of scraps. This is just, you know, and I decided to go with a plain white because I wanted the blue, teal, green combo to kind of pop out. So there we go. Okay, I need to see what I'm doing here for that little match. Yes, it is. Perfect. Line that all up. There we go. Okay, now, again, we swirl our centers. Like I say, if you're swirling your centers, you can't press open. That's, you know, that's just the way it is. That's the way it works, right? Okay. Now, that's going to go here. There we go. Pop them open. And then I just, like I say, I just finger press them a little bit just to get them sewn together. And then that goes there. There, pop open that center seam to swirl it. Okay, here we go. And sometimes you have to pick at the center so it comes really flat. And don't worry about that. That happens sometimes. Okay, there we go. And the last one, I need to leader ender through. It's nice having a stack of leader enders. I'm always lost without them. I never think I'm getting anything accomplished if I don't have a leader ender some days. Because you can get lots done very quickly with a leader ender project. You know, it's like sewing two quilts at once. And, you know, it's very quick, very fast. Okay, one more swirl. And you get right in there with your nails and you kind of pull them apart. Now this one might be just a little bit stubborn. Yes, it is. No, it's good. So here we are. So now you can see how that center look is going together where, you know, they're not, the greens aren't, you don't have this green touching that green in the center, right? So it kind of gives a secondary pattern right within the block. So now what we're going to do is we're just going to trim off the dog ears as we go because there it is. And I'm just going to start sewing them together, like by webbing them. And I should get a perfect little block here right away. Okay, well this gets trimmed and that gets trimmed. There. And last one. There we go. Move that over just a hair. There we go. Oh, this comes together so nice. They do very much come together very quickly. And oh, I dropped one. Oh well, I'll get it. See, like I say, all of these blocks, these 3-inch blocks, are all different colors. It's going to be rather bright and wild, but that's okay. That's okay. Okay, now, here we go. We lay it all back down as to where it was, right, to make sure. And we're going to check now to make sure that everything's where it needs to be, which it is. Okay, now we're going to do the other side. Okay, and I'm just going to trim off these little dog ears without giving them, you know, I can make them a little pointy so they're not just cut off straight. They're cut off a little bit at an angle. There we go. Where's my foot pedal? It disappeared. The foot pedal ran away. Okay. Now, that's where this one's going to go too. Oops. Here we go. And line that up. Okay, and you want these little ears again. I should probably trim them before I put them down and start sewing them, but it's too late now. Too late. Oh well. And the webbing's just about all done. Okay. Another leader ender block. Yeah, this is going to be bright. Some of this quilt is going to be so bright, but that's okay. It's nice to have bright quilts for kids, you know. It's nice. I always find it nice to give them something bright and happy that they can look back on, and somebody cared about them to make them a quilt, you know. And I think we miss out if we make charity quilts and we don't actually see what happens to those people once they get that charity quilt. I think we miss out a lot. We don't understand how wonderful that is. Okay, just give it a quick check. Make sure that there's, you know, nothing has gone awry again, right? Okay, and I'm just going to clip off both of these ends. I'm going to get this end too while I'm here, and this one. Okay, we're all clipped off. Okay. Okay, now I snip because I want to see what's going on, right? I don't like the idea of not being able to see where my nests are. And the only way I can get good visual is by snipping them once I do this. If you prefer not to do that, you don't have to do that. I like to do it. I'm nosy as to where I want to know where they are and what's going on with them. So, oh, okay, so something's awry. Okay. Ugh. Oh, no, I'm flipping a seam. Oh no. There we go. I flip seams all the time. I don't know why it surprises me when I do. There we go. Another leader ender. We're just about at the end. Yeah. Oh. And my foot pedal is sneaking away as we're trying to line this all up. Okay. If you are okay with nesting without having to snip your webbing strings, good for you. That, then that means it's working out for you better. I web just to make sure everything stays in the right spot. But then I want to make sure that I don't have issues. Now you nest this one the best you can too, right? Because that's important. Okay. And now we match up the ends. Okay. Another leader ender to get this one off. Okay, here we go. Thank people are understanding. I've got so much sewing I need to get done that I know some people saying that, that's confusing to watch me do a leader ender, but I'm trying to make as many charity quilts as I can with the fabric that I get. I get a lot of donated fabric too. Oh, and I ran out of bobbin. Okay, we'll have to cut here because I don't think I've got a bobbin wound, and I will come back. Yeah, no, I don't have a bobbin wound, so we'll have to come back after I wind a bobbin. Okay, we wound our bobbin, and now we start over again. Let's lose bobbin chicken. So millions of viewers. Yeah, no, we don't have millions of viewers. We'll probably not get millions of views, but you know what? That's sewing. That's what happens. You all of a sudden you're in a project and you run out of bobbin, So I guess I probably should show you how to wind a bobbin on one of these things if you don't know, but it's fairly simple. Okay, so what I've done, I'm just going to show you from the back side now that we've got this. These are kind of going all over the place as far as which direction, and when you're ironing them, iron them so that they lie flat. Don't worry about, okay, which direction. Now you see these seams are twisted. This one's going this way, and you can cut that seam so it lays the right way. You can just up to like a quarter of an inch away from where it is. If there's anything that's twisted, because twisted seams won't lie flat, right? So that's kind of a thing, but yeah, so just, do your best, iron it out. Don't get too crazy over, oh, it's all got to go this way. It's all got to go that. No, just, yeah, you're doing your best. It's supposed to be a fun hobby. Let's not get crazy about this. So let's get to our big ta-da moment. So here we are with Country Farm. Isn't this cute? This is our little ta-da moment for it. And it did turn out really well. You could play around with all sorts of colors with this and, like different backgrounds or whatever. But I thought, okay, I'll give you the idea and you can now sit there and figure out what you want to do. I know a lot of us, sometimes we have a lot of these smaller triangles and they all work in here. And it kind of gives a secondary illusion of, inside the block, right? Inside that block, even though you saw that it's only a 4-patch. So I do hope you give this a try and you have an absolutely fabulous week ahead. Okay, so take care until we see each other again. All right, bye. My husband and I would love to thank you for watching our videos and being part of our Facebook group and coming to our Zoom meetings. It's been so much fun on this little adventure that we've been on YouTube. I just want to we are doing Zoom sew dates still coming up and those dates are going to be listed in the show notes of this video for the next year. We're making that commitment to you, and we're having a lot of fun with those Zoom sew dates. So please, feel free to come in. Even if you're not a quilter and you just want to come and do some crocheting or knitting or whatever, yeah, come on down. We're good. The other thing is I still am doing speaking engagements for the quilt gals just to help them out to get back on their feet. I am doing only Zoom meetings, and I have a PowerPoint presentation that talks about all the free patterns that we have put out and will be putting out to the world. So they're more than welcome to take any of my patterns and use them for their charity quilts, right? So That's kind of important that they know that we're there. So if you are part of a guild, let your programs person know that we're speaking for free over Zoom only. We're not doing any traveling or anything like that. The other thing that I want to let you know is that we do in our Facebook group, everybody's sharing pictures and having fun and asking questions, and it's a hoot. And we do still have the room feature in Facebook that we can go sew within. My admin person Kathy was able to set that up. It's no longer called Brenda's room, it's called Kathy's room, but we got a room. We do have a room working, so we're all happy with that. So if you get the opportunity to come join us on Facebook, that's great. We'd love to have you. So until we meet again, I hope you have you and your family have an absolutely amazing weeks ahead. Okay, you take care. All right, bye.